Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been a while. Hope you've all been well. I wanted to give you guys a quick update on what's been going on with me and the plane and everything. I know it's almost been 2 months since my last upload, so this is a Thursday evening after AirVenture. I got back. I went up there Wednesday through Sunday. Had an amazing time for my first year up there. It was better than I thought it was going to be, honestly. I am a very introverted person, and I don't usually go out of my way to talk to people and make friends, but I made a conscious effort to step outside my comfort zone while I was there and just talk to strangers, because we're mostly all pilots, right? Or we all love aviation. That's why we're at the event, and pilots love to talk about themselves and airplanes. So I figured it would be a good chance, and everybody I met at the event was just wonderful, beyond belief. Conversation was easy, and everybody loved sharing their experiences and talking about their planes. There wasn't as much owners sitting around their planes and talking about their planes as I thought there was going to be. I figured you could just walk up and down the parking and find people to talk to sitting by their plane. I guess everybody had, they wanted to go check out other cool planes besides theirs, so I get it. But I did have the opportunity to talk to a few people. It took me a couple days to track down the owner of the one P40 that was there. A nice gentleman out of, I believe he's out of Florida. I believe it's around Orlando. I don't remember his name. But we got to sit under the wing of his P40 and talk about it and what it was like and all that stuff. So I thank him for taking the time to talk to me about the airplane and the designs and paint schemes and things of that nature. His had a, I think it was like a French or one of the European, whatever country in Europe took some of the P40s. They were kind of like a yellowish camouflage. His was in that paint scheme. But he did say it was going into the paint shop as soon as he got back from AirVenture to get a more normal paint job on it. So yeah, the event was great. The air shows were top notch. From the aerobatics to the Warbird flybys to just cool, GA airplanes doing stuff. If you ever get a chance to see the night show up there, it is amazing. In fact, there's a couple people on YouTube that have put some videos up of the night performances. If you have some time, go watch one of them. They were just wild. I've never seen anything like it. So, had a great time. We'll definitely be going back every year. The wife and I have already talked. My son is only recently turned 2 years old. So it's not exactly time to take him yet. I don't know that next year will be either. But hopefully maybe when he's 4, we can start making it a family vacation. It works out good being the last week of July every year, since my wife's a teacher. She usually has to start back the first week of August here in Georgia. So that'd be a good closeout to the summer. They generally take a trip back to New York to see her grandparents and stuff in the beginning of the summer. So we think AirVenture every year will be a good opportunity for us to go up as a family, maybe starting in a couple of years. So that'll be great. I'm looking forward to getting them up there. Everett's completely ate up with aviation. He's all the time asking to come see airplane. He wants to come down here in the basement and see the plane. So it's great to have him that interested in it. In fact, when we were walking up to get the trash can out of the driveway today, we just heard an airplane over at the airport, and he's looking for it at 2 years old. He already knows what an airplane sounds like. So that's great. He's got the bug this early. Hopefully I can instill in him that he doesn't have to wait till he's 37, or I guess when I started pursuing aviation I was 35. It's been a couple of years, but you know getting in this industry young is a key. So at least I know that, and I can pass that information on to him for the future. But speaking of my escapades in aviation, another reason that this thing hasn't gotten as much attention as it should is I've been focusing really hard on getting my requirements done to take my check ride. So I am currently 1.2 hours away from having my solo time done, and that is the final requirement that I need for authorization for a check ride. I haven't done the check ride prep. We got to start doing the mock orals and the mock check ride flights. But as far as the FAA requirements, boxes to check off the 10-hour solo time, I'm 1.2 hours away. So I'm really close on that. I'm studying really hard. My commutes, to work are 60 miles, so they're about a hour, depending on traffic, too. I've been listening to Jason Shepard's Pasture Private Pilot Check Ride audiobook on the way back and forth to work exclusively. I've cut out all music. I'm just trying to cram as much of that in as possible. And what I just found, not yesterday, but Tuesday, is they have put the PHAC on audiobook. I believe it's about $27 or something like that. And it's real dry, but as you can imagine, reading the PHAC is. But there's a lot of good information in there. The first few chapters focus on CRM and decision making and things like that. And that's one of the main tenets of the check ride is your examiner wants to see good aeronautical decision making, a good working knowledge of your aircraft and flying, and positive control of the airplane. I mean, that's it. That's really all they're looking for. So it's been good listening to the first few chapters of the PHAC in audiobook format, because let's be honest, none of us are going to sit down and read that thing. It's that damn thick. There's no way we're going to go through it all. So I figured that was kind of a way to read it, like cheat reading it all at the same time. So moving on to the airplane, where I'm at with it. Let me back up a little bit and talk about my private training. My airplane was down for about a month for maintenance. We had a bushing go bad in the front landing gear on my last solo flight before it went down. I took it to my cross-country destination airport, and when I landed, I thought the nose gear broke. I mean, I didn't land that hard, it wasn't a greaser, but it was just a normal landing, and the front of the airplane came down and the nose wheel shimmied almost uncontrollably. For those of you, I know I've had some new followers join recently since my last upload. The ones that don't know is I'm doing my training in a Cirrus SR20, which has a castering front nose wheel, and it's always been kind of wobbly for the past, I don't know, I've got over 30 hours in the plane now. It's just gotten worse and worse, and I guess when I was flying it broke, or it was broke prior, and I just found it on my landing. So I forget exactly now how much that one damn bushing cost in the landing gear, but it was quite expensive, and it put the plane down for about a month. and I think it was also right up on the 100-hour inspection at the same time. So they went ahead and did all that out at the same time, and it took a huge amount of time to get the plane back up. So that ate up about a month, and then trying to get scheduled and all that with people renting the airplane, and the weather has just been atrocious here lately. It took me right at 2 months to come back to flying. So yeah, it's we have another Cirrus that's a brand new Cirrus that's supposed to be delivered in November, December. Hopefully I'm done with all this by now, but the school needs it. So many people want to rent the plane and take it, and hopefully by December I'll be in that group of people who want to go have fun in the airplane instead of doing flight training. But the school definitely deserves to kind of help keep the student availability up a little bit higher. So yeah, but to the airplane. One reason I haven't been as gung-ho on getting it done is I'm working through registration issues. If you all don't know, with a kit-built plane, like this one is, to register it with the FAA, you are required to have the original bill of sale and a bill of sale from every owner that the kit has went through. I am currently missing 2 bills of sale. I got some advice from the EAA on how to get the original, and that so far has not worked. What the EAA will tell you is, especially with a company like Lowly that is no longer in business, is make 2 copies of a request for the bill of sale from Lowly. You go get both copies notarized. You keep 1 copy, you certify mail the other copy to the closed manufacturer of the kit, and when they don't sign for it because they're closed, they don't exist anymore, you get the returned email. You leave it sealed up, and then you have your copy of what's in the sealed up envelope, and that suffices for the FAA. So that's what I did. Well, somebody signed for it. I don't know who. Lowly Aircraft Corporation is not an entity anymore. Now, there still is, to my knowledge, Lowly Coatings. The paint company and aircraft coating company is still operational. I can only assume that someone at that company signed for my certified letter that was addressed to Lowly Aircraft Corporation. So I don't want to get too far along building this until I get all the paperwork worked out. As you guys have seen, I've dumped a lot of money into this thing. I don't even want to add up how many thousands of dollars just in lights and avionics. I mean, this is a $500 box right there. So, y'all just say a prayer for me. Keep your fingers crossed that we get all this worked out. I've kind of been giving the EAA people time to get back on their feet after AirVenture. I'll probably call them next week and see what they recommend we do. So if any of you guys are building a kit or an experimental of any type and you're not a member of the EAA, you're definitely missing out on some good benefits. Having somebody to just pick up the phone and call them, hey, I got this issue, what do you recommend? They're top notch. It's totally free advice from them. All they ask for is your member number when you call. So they've been great to me. But what I have been doing, because I've already bought stuff for it, we might as well keep doing a little bit, right? Is I've I got the new tack and everything in. I think that was in the last video. The panel, I took it out and ran it. I'm trying to dial in the settings for the tack to get it to read right because it was reading low. So I've had I think I got the paper up there, but I've adjusted some settings in the tack. I've got everything, because I told you it was a multifunction display that reads oil temperature and oil pressure and all that kind of stuff. I've got all that set right, except for some reason I can't change the coolant temp or oil temp, one of the two. It's a temperature off of Celsius. I can change it, but I can't get it to save. All the other stuff has saved. I've changed it from kilometers an hour to knots on the GPS airspeed, or the GPS speed. It's not, obviously it's not going to be airspeed, but GPS speed is in knots, so that will match everything. Like I say, the tack setting is staying, but for some reason that one temperature setting is staying on Celsius. So, oh well. I might just make a little note, put the operating range in Celsius and stick it on the panel. Not a big deal. But one thing I wanted to do tonight, just so I could get you guys something out, is, I've got these wires that they're pre-wired in. These are for my wingtip lights. I was like, maybe I'll come like mock these up and show everybody what they look like, how bright they are, So I thought to myself, this is kind of old. I may want to check voltage and everything before I start sticking $500 lights into some wires that I don't know much about. Luckily. So I came out here and checked it, and I set my voltmeter to the 20 DC volts, right? This is a 12 volt system. And it just kept saying 1. I took the black and red wire, and it just kept saying 1, like it was out of range. I was like, this piece of junk's messed up. So I turn it on AC, I go stick it in a wall socket, it reads right. I go take it to a 12 volt battery, it reads right. Okay, well, the meter's right, so what the hell's going on? I said, let me check my landing lights. So let me turn it back on here. I've got it set, right, on 200 is the range. So let's just unplug the landing light. See what she reads. 12.6. What it should be, right? Well, let's I'm gonna plug one of these back in before I forget which arrangement they go in. I'm replacing them anyways, as y'all already know, but whatever. Let me flip these on. Let's take a look. And keep in mind, this is what was intended to go in it. Got a whole sack of parts down there. I guess these are actual aircraft lights. Probably really friggin' old aircraft lights. So yeah, we got our 200 range, right? Stick our meter in. It's just doing that. Makes no sense. So I said, well, let's just bump the range up one more time. Well, I'll just tell you the truth. I was messing with it on the other range, and somehow I touched the wires and it shocked the ever-living shit out of me. So that was kind of my aha moment to up the range on the meter and retry it, 541 volts going through these wires. I have no clue what that's about. I guess it has something to do with the old style wingtip lights that came in airplanes. I don't know. But what I do know is all this shit is getting ripped out, and I got to trace it back and see where it's good. It's got to be going to some sort of inverter or something, because it's being powered by a 12-volt battery. So there's got to be some inverter box or something somewhere, some transformer that's upping the shit out of the voltage and sending it out of these wires, because, man, it lit me up. I'm surprised my eyes aren't twinkling. It was pretty bad. So I'm gonna pull this out or trace it back, figure out what's going on. It's getting replaced, with 12-volt stuff. Thank the good Lord, I did not come out here and stick these 12-volt lights into a 530-volt wire, or I'd have been out $500 freaking for these power bursts. But yeah. So, anyways, that's just kind of what I've been up to. I know in the last video I told you I was planning on using the conduit to route the antenna and wires back to the ADSB beacon. I've got that installed. It's 90% done. I got to finish it. So the next time I do a video, you'll see it. I'll have the antenna wired up. I'll have all that run. I'll show it to you. And I've got plans to fix the air intake and the catch can setup and all that stuff on the front. So look for that coming in the next video. I did talk to the UAvionics guys. We talked about painting the beacon and stuff. They said just wrap it in electrical tape. It'll be fine. They said any plastic-based paint I can cover it with, or wrap it in electrical tape if we don't want to see the beacon, which we don't need it because we have it built into these wingtip lights, just like the Cirrus. So everything will be on the tip. There won't be anything on the tail. It's going to help keep that original warbird look. We don't have to have any red beacons anywhere else, any of that stuff. So, one other good tidbit that I learned while I was there, I stopped by the Vortex booth. We talked about it last time, the covering that I'm going to use for this thing, and I don't know if I want to put the man on blast or anything, but I basically found out a way to get the Vortex for half price. So that was a godsend, because I think the quote they sent me for this airplane was about $7,500. So being able to get that, closer to $4 is a huge deal. I don't know if you've seen it in any of the videos, but I've got a car back here that I'm building. I've been waiting on parts. My crankshaft is finally coming in, so I can put that back together. I was gonna sell that car to pay for covering the airplane. So maybe now I won't have to do that we found a way to get it cheaper. But yeah, I appreciate everybody hanging in there. I appreciate all the new subscribers. I think we're up to like 44 or something now. It's crazy. Everybody wants to see me put together a pile of toothpicks. So I appreciate all you. I'm glad you're here. If you have any questions, please let me know. I do owe a gentleman a phone call. I haven't forgot about you. The gentleman from Alabama. That's on me. It's my bad. I will get to you. We'll talk about it. I've got all my plans. This gentleman was needing some info on plans and stuff for a lowly that he has. I'm trying to find a good way to organize all the plans, because they're these big blueprint sized sheets of paper. If anybody has a good way to put those together where we can straighten them out and like organize them and stuff, because right now they're all rolled up, please let me know. the best idea I've had is take a dowel rod, like a wooden dowel rod from Hobby Lobby or some shit, and then run it through it, and then big giant butterfly like paper clips, and then you could like hang them from the paper clips. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm thinking you use the, like super glue that wooden dowel rod to the top of the alligator clips, and that will help hold it straight and be like a structure. And then maybe they'll just hang down. So that's the brightest idea I have for it. If anybody else has any great ideas, let me know. But other than that, I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody's kid has a great year going back to school. It's that time. And hopefully we all get a break from the summertime heat and exhaustion. We just got to make it through August, and we're on the downhill slide. So I love you all. I'll catch you on the next one. We'll see you.